morning, Gogglefrogs, and how are you this morning? I hope that you're enjoying this beautiful weather. Hello to everybody who's watching us live, those who watch us in replay, and those who watch us on YouTube. I'm Angela, and this is my wonderful friend and co-presenter, Marion. So welcome, Marion.
Good morning, Angela, and everybody else. Brigitta's beaten us to it, and she's already told us it's 103.
Oh, episode 103. I've still got 100 behind us.
Oh, sorry, I'm welling up, Angela. Sorry.
That's all right. We will go through and explain why Marion is so emotional in a moment. So we all need to cheer Marion up. So Marion has kindly come on to co-host today, which is brilliant. And she's done some extremely special knitting for somebody, and we're going to tell you about that in a little while. So a huge welcome. If you haven't already, get yourself, this is your hour to do what you want. So get your drink. This is it. I've remembered my Gogglefrogs mug today.
I still haven't ordered mine.
Don't worry, Marion. Any mug, any glass, anything will do. Get your knitting with you. Sit back and relax. We will do the talking. You can see us, but we cannot see you. But you can, if you're watching us live, chat in the chat box. And what we will do is share what's in the chat box with you. So a huge welcome this morning. So, Marion.
Yes.
Is it warm over there?
Yes.
Yeah, something that happens. We've all got fans going, haven't we? Which is absolutely wonderful. If you haven't, there's always a pattern somewhere. So just use your pattern because they're brilliant for that.
Well, yesterday morning, whilst I was making a mess of everything, they could hear Ollie. They could hear Ollie panting over the phone, over the fan.
Oh dear, it's quite incredible, isn't it, that people pay thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds every year to go to somewhere with weather like this, but when it's on our doorstep, for some reason, it's no good, and that's because we don't have a pool in the garden. Usually, some of you may, but we don't. But yeah, so just enjoy. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about needles today because needles are so different. We think all knitting needles are the same, but they're really not at all. And once you change from one to the other for whatever reason, suddenly you think, why haven't I been using these before? So we'll go through that in a little while. But shall we have a little bit of music, Marion?
Yes, please. And I hope it's really sort of cheer-uppy.
Cheery uppy. I love that word. That's a new word. So if you want to go on mute, Marion, and we will see what today's music is all about. And I don't know.
What?
I've no idea. Do you know? Oh, does anybody know what year that was? I don't know. And to be honest, I've heard it lots and lots and lots, but I never knew who sang it. So, yeah. I don't know.
I'm going to agree with Linda and say it's the 60s, but Brigitta's 66, 67.
What was his name? Tommy
James.
Is it
Tommy Jones and the Shondells? Tommy Jones and the Shondells. You've only just seen it and I've forgotten. Makes you wonder if you can forget a name that quick, how can you remember to keep a knitting pattern of about 10 stitches in your head? How's Aggie's cardi coming along?
Well, I'm still on the arms. Yeah. Oh, hang on. It's still not finished. I think it's just so hot.
And that thunderstorm last night didn't really clear the air.
Well, the funny thing was, I said, right, I'm going for a walk. And Alan said, oh, shall I come with you? I said, yeah, that'd be nice. So we went for quite a long walk. It was lovely. We got home and Alan was going to the gym. So got home. He just got changed for the gym, got in the car, and I said, oh, I felt one spot of rain. Went in and the heavens just opened and he couldn't get into the gym because it was just bouncing down so much, but it was so funny. Right.
Well, we were sat out in the garden just having a cold drink and talking to our neighbours through the fence.
Yeah.
And we were saying, Richard was saying, oh, I'll put my shoes on and we'll take Ollie out as it's got a bit cooler. And then we felt a couple of drops. So we went in. Next thing we knew, thunder, a couple of lightning flashes, torrential rain. And so we shut all the doors and all the windows. Half hour later, it was all done.
Yeah.
We took the bubble ubs out, and the entrance to Orchards Drive from Bunkers Lane was a flood.
Oh, wow.
It had flooded. It was easily 12 inches in the middle.
Wow.
Yeah. We both all got our feet wet. It was covered all the way up to the pavement.
What I was really surprised, I love thunder and lightning. So I had all the windows open. I was sat there watching it, loving it. But when I was actually out in the rain, because I was getting the washing in, it was so cold. Like the rain is not normally that cold, and it was freezing. So it was quite unusual yesterday.
By the time we took bugger lugs out, which was only 10-15 minutes after the rain stopped, it was humid again.
Oh,
it was awful. It was a bit cooler, but it was still humid.
Well, this is what always amazes me, because in our garden it was quite warm and muggy, but as soon as we went to up the road, it was actually quite nice. So we walked along by the emus and the wallabies, which are only like 2 doors away from me. So we had a look at them. Alan refused to come near the emus. The geese were gaggling as well, and then we had a long walk. So it was lovely through the wheat fields.
Nice.
So over in Ascot near us. So yeah, it was really lovely.
You're not far from Ascot House?
No, it's just behind us.
What, the grounds are or the houses?
Well, the grounds and then the house. So it's just 2 doors, and then we walk up the hill and we're there.
Have you been in the house?
No, never.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's lovely. Yeah.
So yesterday we could see Mentmore Towers to the left and Ascot House to the right, and the two houses can see each other. So it was really nice, really, really lovely. But I'm heading up to Leeds after this, so it will be a bit of a mad dash today, but never mind.
Just looking out the window to see what it's potentially like for you. It's a little bit overcast.
Yeah.
But you should be okay.
It'll be fine. So shall we say some hellos to
people? That might help.
Yeah. And do you know what? I think this week is everybody is holidaying, enjoying the sun, doing.
I don't blame them.
Exactly. So we've got bottom to top or top to bottom.
Whichever you fancy.
We'll do a bottom to top then. So good morning, Marion. Hello, Marion, and other Marion who is with me today. So good morning, Marion. And good morning, Louise. Lovely to see you. And good morning, Linda. And good morning, Judy. And good morning, Jackie. I know that you're working. And
good morning about that,
Brigitte. Yeah, some people have been working throughout, haven't they? So thank you for keeping going. So and keeping the country moving forward. But I tell you something, I've been doing this. So I've got I've done an age 6 to 7. She's 5 in September, so I think it's going to be a bit big, but never mind. But out of the cakes, I've got that little bit left. I'm on my first arm, and so I'll have to go into the second one. And I've got the other one in there. So it will take just over a cake, but
not bad going.
No, I can't remember how much the cakes are. Are they about £10 ish, something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's nice full.
Can you remember how much these curiosity cakes are?
I think £4.97. But
that's exactly the amount that I had in my head, because I was trying to show everybody yesterday the drilling in the background's our workman, how the shading is such a delicate pink. I don't know, can you see it? It's such a soft, you can't, can you?
No, this is where do you know what? You need an iPhone for taking pictures so that you can see the colours.
Well, I'll do a picture for tomorrow. I mean, this is a Mac, but it's obviously, well, it's not a year old, but technology has obviously come off on a lot since February even. Well, this was probably made December, wasn't it? So
yeah. No, if you move your Mac so you've got the window behind it and you're in front of it, then you will find that it takes colours much better.
But then it's glaring straight in my eyes, the sun.
I know. That's why we struggle. So, but that's how you get the camera to take things properly. So don't worry about it. Yeah, and I was wrong about the cost of Curiosity. I am so sorry. It's not £4.97. It is actually £4.87.
Well,
so even more economical.
I'll have used 2 cakes to make a baby blanket, and I think that's pretty good value for money.
Yeah, and the colours are so beautiful in the new ones. I mean, they've always been nice, but they're absolutely lovely. I know Robert raves about them.
He's used them quite a bit, hasn't he?
Yeah, for the one snood things that.
The crochet one.
Yeah.
Shall we see what people are saying?
Yes. Do you want to?
Oh, Brigitte saying good morning and reminding us straight off it's number 103. Judy saying good morning. Jackie saying morning. Sorry, no knitting, but guess what she's doing? Are you drinking a coffee, Jackie? No, she's working hard, bless her. Or deciding which purple yarn to buy. Linda's, yeah. Actually, don't tell her, but I've got a ball of purple downstairs for her, which I don't think I'll be using. Yeah, I found it in the clear out, and I thought this is a Jackie pit, so I'll probably be sending that off when I get her other stitch marker to send off. Linda's saying good morning all. She's not knitting, not mask making, but I will share when it's finished. Well, it can't be cake because she can't share that.
Oh.
Brigitte saying that it's a good job we can't see her because she's melting, and she had to take her mascara off after her dash to the bread store. Oh, of course, it's Tuesday. It's market day, isn't it?
Oh, right. Of course, yes.
Yeah. And that song takes her back to her disco days in Germany. Wow, yeah. Ooh. 66, 67.
Sorry, it was 68.
It was 68.
The ceremony was 68, yes.
I was 15 and worrying about my O levels.
Were you?
Yeah, I'm 68. Linda's dancing like a young'un in her head. 60s. Brigitte got 66, 67. Linda, well, we had a conversation about whose name it was. Louise says she's just joined.
Oh,
Safi
hello.
says, good morning,
Good morning,
Safia.
Safi.
And she's saying, that's pretty. What are you making? Which one, Safi? Angela's or mine? Georgie's joined us. I'm wondering if we're managing to keep cool. Brigitte reminds us that it's £4.87. Jackie says, oh, lovely, thank you. Well, that's to me. And thank you, Georgie. 1968 was the year she was born. Oh, I remember Davy Jones of the Monkees. I think everybody was in love with him, Linda.
Yeah.
And Safi says both. Do you know, isn't it amazing how all of us, without exception, have reduced Safia to Safi? And Safia is such a pretty name, and we've all shortened it without exception.
Well, I think Safia said that she had everyone calls her Safi, so I did.
Oh, and Georgie loved David Jones too. Now, who else was it? There was Davy Jones, Peter Tork, Mickey Dolenz, and who was the fourth? Mike Nesmith. Thank you, Linda.
Oh,
Mike. Yeah, that was my teenage years. I can remember my father listening to the Rolling Stones doing Little Red Rooster when it first came out and saying, oh, what a load of rubbish, what a load of, and this is disgusting. And then when he was in about his 70s, listening to it and going, this is a classic, you know.
Oh, I remember my mum telling me that she went, I don't know who she went to see at their local place in Doncaster. And I think she said it was something like I don't know whether it was a swimming bath that they put a false wooden thing over for when bands came. I don't know. It could have been something else. It could have been like a roller skating ring or something. And the warm-up band was the Rolling Stones. So she actually saw the Rolling Stones back, I don't know, before they were famous, when they were warming up for some other band in a little place called Doncaster. I know it's not so small, but when you think of the size of the band now and where they've gone, quite incredible.
I was working at St Albans City Hall and we had David Essex. And of course, because I worked there, I got a free in. Okay, I was working, but I could still stand at the back and listen to him. Never didn't get to meet him, but yeah.
Oh wow!
We went. Well, Richard's just saying we went and saw him as well.
Hello, Richard.
Hiya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else did we go to see?
Good show, that was.
Oh, it was a good. Didn't we saw Joe Brown and the Brothers in Weston-super-Mare, didn't we?
Yeah.
Good.
Joe Brown, not his brothers.
Not his brothers.
No.
Oh.
Show.
Oh, one-man show.
Yeah.
All right. That's going back a bit.
Yeah. It is.
Oh, Linda's saying that she saw David Essex in Godspell.
Yeah.
And Anne's joined us, and Brigitte's asking Anne if it's hot where she is. Is Anne in Yorkshire? Because
she's in North Yorkshire. Yeah.
Do you know who we haven't seen recently? And that's Anastasia.
Yes, I was thinking that the other day. Yes.
I was wondering how she was getting on with her shawl pattern that she had problems with.
Yeah, she was doing really well, wasn't she? Once she got the new pattern through, it was beautiful. So I'll drop her a message and see how she is.
I was going to say, and for those that you watched me make a complete and utter twit of myself yesterday, Robert has said he will show me how I can access other stuff, so that I don't sit here like a lemon in future.
Oh, yeah, we'll go through that.
Yeah, Louise saw David Essex at Hammersmith in her teens. Yes.
Oh, and Washington.
Oh, and the Ram Jam Band. Did you see him then, Richard?
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. I don't think there are many on here that are as old as you and can remember him.
I was in my very early 20s.
Well, that would have been 60, well, around about 62, 63. Does anybody else remember what was his name?
Gino Washington.
Gino Washington and the Ram Jam bands.
What an amazing name, Ram Jam Band.
Yeah, I know.
No idea. Really, no idea.
No, somebody, Georgie's very kind and saying I did all right. We had a good chat. And Brigitte saying that one of her nephews is called David because his mum was totally in love with David Essex.
Wow. Just like all the Kylies in the world.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah. And Diana's came about, didn't they? And
yes.
Yeah.
And then, do you remember when Toya Wilcox was really big?
Yes.
No, she was only little then.
What was it? The early 70s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, I think it was early 80s.
Early 80s.
Early 80s.
Yeah. Well, we had a spate because you could still, I worked at the tax office then, and you could still claim child allowance of mums coming in to tell us that they'd had a child and calling it Toya.
Really?
Really?
Wow. I'm going to have a look at that because I've never met anyone called Toya.
Yeah.
Toya
and you think, oh my God, poor child. There was a little boy at the school I helped out with. He was called AJ. And I said to the teacher, well, how's that spelt? And she went, AJ.
Yeah.
And that was actually what was on his birth certificate.
Yeah.
AJ.
Oh, wow. Oh.
And saying, Brigitte saw the Beatles in Essen in 1966.
Wow. It was that part of the Beatles because there was a program on. It was showing where they went out to Germany to play quite early in their career before they were big and famous. So I don't know if that was that was the tour when they went out.
Hold on a minute. Didn't they play in Hamburg down the Reberstrasse?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know. I can't remember that part of their. Like it was like a program on them, but I do remember seeing that. So was it there or wasn't it? I don't know. But was it when they were really, really big, or was it when they were getting to be?
No, Brigitte's saying that was when they were already famous down the Reberstrasse. But the Reberstrasse, and Brigitte will put me right, is also or was famous for something else, another profession. And Anne says it's about 21 degrees now, going up to 29. We're in North Yorkshire, 20 minutes from the North Yorkshire Dales. And then Brigitte says that Toya is still better than North. Yeah, she's right there.
North? Why is that the name?
Yeah, somebody infamous has called their child North.
Well, I still think Bear's rather unusual. So, and yes, Brigitte has just said that the Reaper Barn is not a street where the respectable knitter would be seen. Not at all.
No.
It is
the oldest profession in the world is carried out, or was carried out down that street.
Yeah.
And please, if you don't know what the oldest profession in the world is, I'm not going to tell you.
No, it's not knitting.
No, I don't think knitting was.
No.
Yes, Jackie, I've skated over your question.
Oh, sorry. What have we forgotten?
No, I've just skirted it.
Oh, right.
I'm just telling Jackie I've skirted it. Are you taking Ollie out, or
no, we are?
We are later. Yeah,
we are going to the shop.
Yeah, after 11.
I've got a question for you.
All right. What, for the ladies?
No, for you.
What?
When you wash my caps.
Yeah.
Was it in Purcell?
Possibly. So I've got to wash them again.
It's your scalp.
Oh, okay then. Sorry.
Okay. So that's all right. So I was going to talk about needles a little bit, and then we've
Yeah,
got
you
a
were.
quick chat about. So I am an absolute sucker for Zing needles. I love them. They're multicolored. I'm sure you've all used them, but
Yeah, I got them.
just for some of our people who are in different countries, because I know you watch us on replay, this is an example of a Zing. They've got pink ones, green ones. They're all different colours. Are they pink, blue, or purple?
These are blue Zing,
Yeah.
4mm.
Yeah. So they're light blue for 4.5 mil, a darker blue for 4 mil. 5 mil is a beautiful fuchsia pink. They've got every colour imaginable. They're absolutely brilliant. Oh my word.
5mm.
Yeah.
3.75. These are all going in my new craft room, which is getting there. 3.5. That's a green. So they're almost all together in one pot, but I've got more than that.
And they're absolutely beautiful. They're very, very slippy. So when you're working with wool that clings to the needle, it's brilliant. So if you're in a different country, they're part of the Knit Pro range. They are great. They've got circulars for people who use circulars. What I love about them as well is they do extra long needles. So they do 40 centimetre needles, which means in true Northern or Yorkshire style, they do tuck comfortably under the arm for when you're doing your Northern style knitting. So I did realise that I didn't have a 4mm the other day. So I had to go out to a local yarn shop in Yorkshire, the one in Pudsey, and get some new needles. And I got these. They are the traditional simple pony. So I got some 4mm. Oh my word. I could not believe the difference with how they actually stick on the needle. So these were just smooth, durable, pony classic. And honestly, if ever I do anything like lace knitting ever again, I don't know whether I ever will, because it's not my normal preference, these will be my needles. I've never known anything stick but not pull like these. They're brilliant. They're even better, I would say, than the carbons that I've got and the cubics that I've got, because the carbons are beautiful. They allow, you know, so you physically have to push the wool, and you want that to happen. Sometimes if you've got really lovely wool that slips easily, so easy for it to come off the end of the needles. And I've found that carbons are some of the best out there. That's just my personal preference, but they're quite expensive. I think they're, you know, over £8 or £9 for a set. But I could not believe that these beautiful,
and pony ones tend to be quite very reasonable.
£2.69. And they are incredible. So it was just, when we talk about needles, we're always talking about the latest ones that have come out, or the trendiest ones. And actually, these were beautiful. Now pony are different, because I know I've got several that are what I would call, these feel slightly rubberized, and that's whereas some feel really shiny and laminated on the outside. So they're just the pony classics. I don't know if they've changed them, but I was so impressed. So
some of ponies plastic and some metal covered in something.
Yeah, these are metal ones. That might be the reason why. I've had pony, and yeah, I've got the plastic ones, which I still use. Don't get me wrong. I pick up a set of needles, and when every pair of Zings are already being used in your projects, you just grab another pair, don't you? Start on those. But I cannot believe how I should be using pony classics more. So certainly if I've got some, it's interesting. I cannot use mohair because pure mohair just brings me out it makes all of my skin crack. I've got a really weird reaction to it. But I was gifted some fake mohair, and it's a beautiful light bluish colour. So for using that, it will fly off the needles. And I thought I'd have to use my carbons, but I think I'll be using these. So certainly for anybody learning to knit, I think these are really, really good needles.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I think normally we go for the ones that are so pretty, the zings, etc. But it's really easy to lose a stitch. So if you are putting any kits together for friends, for people who are starting to learn to knit, really, really good. And it's not that you're using cheap needles. I'm pretty hooked with these, so I'm going to be looking in my stash at some point, seeing how many I've got and replacing a lot of them, adding to them. But yeah, so a little bit of an investment there, but why have I not been using these for quite some time?
I think a lot. Do you remember when they brought up the wooden Pro line?
Yes.
Changeable, and how we all liked them. And then all of a sudden we were finding that they were snapping either as we were screwing them in on the screw bit, or if you screwed them in too tight, you couldn't unscrew them. They I was really annoyed because I bought gradually the whole lot. I must have spent a fortune, and now I hardly touch them.
I've never used them. I bought a couple. I'm not a great one with circular needles anyway. It's only when I have to. I just don't like using them. I love my straight needles, but I know what you mean.
Now, I don't use straight needles, not because I didn't like using them, but because I could never find a pair, a matched pair, or even if I was knitting with it, it's where have I dropped it? And when I was young, I managed to sit on one of my mother's. I've still got the scar.
Oh dear.
Nice round scar. And when I was little, do you remember when you could have plugs in the wall and they didn't have an on-off switch?
No.
Oh, you're too young. Yeah, back in the 50s and early 60s, you'd have a wall socket and they didn't have an on-off switch, and I put an electric one. Whee! I must have had rubber slippers on or something.
Oh dear. Oh no. You poor thing.
I suppose I ought to answer Jackie's question now. She wanted to know why I was a bit emotional.
Do you know what? I was just going to come to that and say, do you want to share that before we go on to Gogglefrogs? Please show what you showed me just before we went live, because it was amazing.
I think a lot of you saw the cardigan that I knitted my aunt, and my aunt is nearly blind, but she managed to write me this letter, and you can see just how poor her writing is. But she took the time and the trouble, despite her eyesight, to write me the most wonderful letter. And I sat here bawling my eyes out, because she's you've met her, Angela. You met her at a Knit and Natter.
I did, yes.
Got cheap.
Definitely.
And she still asks after you, you know.
Oh, bless her.
How are those lovely ladies that I met? And what does she say? Well, if I can read it. The cardigan arrived safely. It was packed to perfection. The label, the cable, it's not a cable, but poor love can't tell. When I opened, I won't tell you that bit. She thought it was going to be a plain blue, but it's, as you know, variegated. Some of it I can't read. It had me in floods. The pattern is excellent. Never did I expect to receive something put together so well. So that'll tell you. But yeah, she is a strong lady, Linda. She's not had the easiest of lives in a lot of ways. She's now, hang on, I've got a date of birth here. I always forget it. She was born in 1926, so she's 94.
Oh.
And, yeah.
And where's she?
She lives in Harrow-Weald.
Oh, right, yeah.
To get to visit her because, as most of you know, neither of us drive. It's a train to Watford, then another train from Watford to Harrow-Weald, then on a bus for an hour. So it takes us 2.5 hours to get to her, then 2.5 hours to get back. So that's a day.
Well, let me know when you want to go over, and I'll drive over there because
That's very sweet of you.
I've got friends who aren't too far anyway. But I spent lots of my youth in Harrow-Weald, so I'd be happy to
She's
just have
not
a walk
far
around.
from a pub called, what's it called? Named after somebody who won the VC. Linda knows Harrow-Weald well. Jackie says, yeah. And Brigitte goes, yeah, it's a special letter. Brigitte knows what it's like to receive a special letter. And I'll show it to you properly, Brigitte, when we meet up after all this.
So lovely.
And Georgie says, yes, it's a wonderful, it's lovely. It is. And we're, I'm sorry to go on about it, but just my heart that she's got no children, and I can't get to see her. I'm not moving her at 94 to be nearer me because it wouldn't do her any good.
Well, we can sort out a day, and then you and the other thing as well, I'll have the new car on Thursday, so it's a bit bigger than my car at the moment. So it'll be easier to take you, Richard, and Ollie.
Yeah. How long ago was it that you met her at the Spotted Sheep, Angela?
I think it must be about 5 years.
It was before it became the Spotted Sheep, but it was when Katrina still had it.
Yeah, it was. It was because she was
Saturday morning.
Yeah, I remember where she was sitting.
Yeah, that's it, Linda, the Leaf Robinson.
Is that quite a big pub? A white pub? Oh, I know where that was. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And her eyesight was going then, and she asked to see it. She got all your knitting and she held it up close and she felt it.
Oh, bless her. Oh.
Yeah, that's it, Linda. It's a big steakhouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, yes, we'll sort that out so that you can
go. That's really kind of you, but we'll see how this pandemic pans out.
Yeah, well, when it's, I'm saying like not this week because that won't be good having you and Richard in the car that close. But it's going to get to the point where you can travel. Says me coughing now. It's just one of those like things, isn't it? Whenever we talk about the pandemic,
you're right. Yeah, Brigitte's saying you and your auntie were in the Spotted Sheep when she brought you the wool you knitted into that red poncho type jump. Yes, you're right, Brigitte. Yes, you're right. She bought me the yarn to make. Yes, you're right. She did.
When did you make that?
We went
the poncho.
Brigitte, it was one of the years we went down to Winchambrook, in Gloucestershire. Jackie's gone, so she can't remember. That's got to be 6 years.
I think it's good 5, 6
No, we
years.
were in Winchcombe. That's it. We were in Winchcombe. It was one of the first years we went, I think.
Yeah, it was. Oh, what a special letter. And it is now permanently here as part of Gogglefrogs, which is lovely.
Yeah.
And I know that we had to wait until Marion was able to talk about it because at the beginning of the show we had to try and divert her mind away from it because it was all very well, it is, isn't it? Whenever you receive something like that, it's so heartwarming. Really, really heartwarming. So shall we have a look in Facebook? Right, I'll just have a look in Facebook, and if you can anything that comes up in chat, please let us know.
Bye, Jackie.
There we go. My internet is going rather slow at the moment.
Jackie, don't forget it's the gin night. Oh, God, you've got me all on my Todd. Where's you gone, Angela? Now I can. Now I can see you, but it's just me again. Yes, it was Safi. And she is a very, very dear aunt. Very dear. Oh, and my father's sister, she was. What's that? Louise, morning coffee.
Take it to the garden and watch Gogglefrogs. That is so lovely.
Lovely.
Thank you so much, Louise.
Now, you see, if we all live round the square and we're on Gogglefrogs, we could all be sharing tea and coffee. Well, we could all be sharing cake.
Yeah.
Put it on the central table.
Oh, I've just realised I've got something a little bit Gogglefrogs branded outside. I've got lemon meringue pie that I made the other day. So there's no black in it, but it is the white and the yellow. But that's lovely. I hope that you're enjoying watching us in the garden. As if by magic, we were talking about Anastasia a moment ago. Oh, Anastasia, we're so happy to hear from you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, she's working, that's why.
Oh, fabulous. So this is a Noah's Ark cross stitch I made a few years ago. P.S. casting off the Simplicity shawl today. Very excited. And we were just saying, weren't we, about the shawl. Oh, we can't wait. So if you are watching this on replay, Anastasia, please, we are so excited to hear from you. Oh, look, there's a what do you call them? A zebra, a lion. I think that, not very big, so I'll look later. But you have a look at the beautiful
put more pictures. I can't.
Animals.
No, I can't do it. You're sharing.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Thank you so much for posting that. Brigitte, Throwback Tuesday, we moved out of our retirement palace we moved to our retirement palace just over 12 years ago. The new dining chairs proved to be rather hard and uncomfortable, so I crocheted 6 different panels, which I sewed to calico cushion covers, which kind stitching friend in Germany sewed for me. They are well used and wash up well. They are beautiful. Oh, love those. I just love the fact that you have so many ideas about what you're going to do. So rather than just putting a normal cushion on, cushion covers, beautiful. Love those. Deborah says, sorry not to have been with Gogglefrogs yesterday and today. You don't have to apologise. We love you anyway. Taking advantage of the good weather early this week. Days out in our camper van. Deborah, we are so happy to know that you're out in your camper van. This is absolutely the right weather for it, isn't it, Marion?
Definitely.
Yeah. Linda, thank you so much. This really brought back my youth. Throwback Tuesday. This was knitted probably by my mother, but could maybe have been my nana who was living with us at the time. It was for my Cindy doll when I was about 8, so about 56 years ago. I remember Cindy. I know there was it's gorgeous, isn't it?
I've still got some patterns for Cindy doll.
Have you?
Yes.
Oh,
I can remember flying to Hong Kong with Cindy. She had on a midnight blue dress with a silver pattern on it, and I wouldn't let it go. I would have been, how old would I have been? 6 or 7.
Oh, wow. That's lovely. Oh. And then we've got, so that's lovely. And then Fran, Throwback Tuesday. A blanket I was knitting for grandson 1, this time 10 years ago. He'll be 10 in November. He's wrapped in it. And then him with his brother who he gave it to, who was 7 last week on Friday, the 7th, and wearing it. Isn't that lovely? And it's lovely when they're passed down and handed down. They stay forever. Brigitte says, shared something about she had an email from Amazon. Yeah, phishing. Just always assume that any email that you receive is like a phishing email, and thank you for sharing that with people. So then Robert said, Throwback Tuesday, please post your pics. Sadly working again. We miss you, Robert. We will see you tomorrow evening, which will be lovely. He's with us in spirit and will be with us tomorrow evening. This is probably one of Robert's creations. He makes lots of lovely creations, doesn't it? Yeah. And then we've got one from Fran on there as well, a bookmark at a craft sale. Catherine says, sorry not being with you, start my new job tomorrow. So we just want to say a huge congratulations to you, Catherine.
Hope it goes well.
Yes, and we're really rooting for you. She says that she's going to pop in on the days off. Thanks, Angela. Love Gogglefrogs. All of us make Gogglefrogs, every single one of us. And thank you so much. It's great to have you with us. And I can't remember what a new job was.
No, I was just wondering that.
Because I know we said so. Hang on. Just trying to remember, trying to see that. Oh, sorry, sometimes it's
What? She's a nurse.
That's it. She's a nurse. Thank you. And there's something there from Trisha. Oh, as if we didn't need to be tempted, Trisha. British Wool, Woolly Wonderland Craft Show, Saturday, August 28th to August 31st. And I'm not too sure if that's an online one, but you can have a look in our Facebook group, which is Gogglefrogs Knit and Natter. So just ask to join it if you're watching on replay and not already part of it. And we did this yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which was the clangers.
Hello, Rebecca, by the way. And Northern Lights. Yeah, Rebecca's just joined us.
Hello, Rebecca. Lovely to see you. And here's the delivery of lovely squishiness. Now, I have to say, I do like Northern Lights.
So do I.
This is a cowl I did in Northern Lights. Lovely to knit with. Well, that was crocheted. It's lovely. Really, really lovely. And the pink looks beautiful, but whoa.
That is a beautiful hitchhiker shawl out of one cake. Absolutely gorgeous.
So there's some beautiful colours. There's your light pink and there's your light grey, which I always think are rather Japanesey. And I know you love Japanesey stuff, but the oranges together are beautiful, Dawn. So that's great. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
So I think we're up to date with Facebook.
Well, Brigitte said that the Safia's cross stitch was amazing. It was Anastasia's cross stitch.
Anastasia's, yeah.
And Linda has some knitting patterns for Cindy as well somewhere. And Brigitte remembers knitting some for her daughter when they were in Dubai. Hasn't got any pictures of them. What's CAS? It's for KAS, of course. Good to hear about Northern Lights, says Rebecca. I have some and was not sure about it. I've got some somewhere if I can find it, because I'm at the stage whereby I can put the yarn away, maybe tonight or tomorrow, And if I find it, mine's lilacs going into a darker shade. And I was going up to see the Northern Lights. Oh, Knitter Square. Thank you, Rebecca. And I thought it was the right combination with for the sky at night sort of thing, because it's got little flecky bits, hasn't it?
It has. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Sorry, Marion. I will be 2 minutes. Okay. Sorry, I think it's just the carers ringing me from my mum's. Okay.
Oh, okay then.
No, stay there. I'll be back in a minute.
Right. How many squares have you knitted, Rebecca? I know you've done quite a lot. And what was Cindy's boyfriend called? She did have one. I'm sure she did. I can't remember. Paul. Yes. Thank you, Linda. And did she have a little sister just like Barbie did? I should never go looking for the Northern Lights, as they will take you away. Is that a reference to Philip Pullman, Rebecca? And I've read Skippy or something, long red hair. Red hair, Skippy. Or was that Barbie's little sister? Skipper was Cindy's sister. Ah, right. Because they had so many stuff. They had caravans, they had cars, they had motorhomes. And of course, Barbie's still a big money spinner. I mean, she can now become an engineer or an airline pilot instead of just the air hostess. So was it a telephone call about the care?
No, I always worry because whenever I get a phone call, a missed call from a mobile, I think, oh, it's one of the carers, and they go and see my mum at 10:30 in the morning. No, it wasn't. It was someone. No, it's fine.
Linda's dad made her a beautiful wardrobe for her clothes for Cindy. Just recap. I couldn't remember who Cindy's boyfriend was, but it was Paul, and Skipper was Cindy's sister, who had long red hair. And Judy's got to go. Bye, Judy.
Bye. See you soon.
There was a tradition. I remember seeing it. This tradition. I remember seeing it on TV years and years ago. I'm not sure what that refers to. Is that the competition sort of thing between Cindy and Barbie? Because Cindy was the British equivalent of Barbie, and she didn't really take off, did she?
Well, I think I had Cindy, and I liked Cindy. And then there was Barbie, which was just totally didn't look like any female I'd ever seen in my life.
No.
And still doesn't look anything like any female I've ever seen in my life. Whereas Cindy was, I remember buying an outfit, and it was jeans and a denim jacket and a top. So it was normal clothes. So I saw it as that's how women should look. And Barbie, I just found totally bizarre. So I don't know if Cindy was very, very popular, but I think as the years went on, Barbie overtook.
Yes.
And I think that's a real shame, because I think Cindy was
all down to
normal shape.
Yeah. Oh, and Rebecca's saying it was the Northern Lights taking you away. We went up to Alta to see the Northern Lights. God, only last March. Oh, nobody saw them apart from my husband. He saw, despite the fact he's registered blind, he saw this flash of green, which is Northern Lights. Nobody else saw them, which was a bit upsetting. I want to go back again, but Richie doesn't like the cold, so we've agreed that for our last ever cruise, we will do up to the north of Norway and hopefully across to Iceland, and that will be our last one, probably in 2022.
Oh,
and Pippa dolls. I remember Pippa dolls,
the
Georgie.
little ones.
Yes.
I'd forgotten all about them. Thank you so much.
I think my daughter had some. And Linda said her American friend had a Barbie. She had wigs for her. Didn't some of them had hair that grow and everybody cut it and of course it stopped growing because
Yeah,
it
and you
wasn't
wound it
growing.
up in the middle. But
Yes.
Pippa, you had lots of different coloured Pippas. So I had blonde Pippa, redhead Pippa, brown-haired Pippa, black-haired Pippa. So there are all these different Pippas, which I thought was brilliant as well, especially with children. Like you wanted all of them, didn't you? So you didn't prefer one hair colour to another. So it was brilliant. Really, really good for children.
Oh, Rebecca, yeah. I had a Cindy doll. I was only remembering this morning that when I made her a little record player, cardboard, and a bunch of records, one was called My Cuckoo by Alvin Stardust. And yes, her hair grows, pushed a button in her tummy, and you could hear it whirring, couldn't you, round and round as you took it back in. Tressie had hair that grew. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, right. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. This is so funny.
Yeah.
Georgie loved all the Pippa dolls as well. And Brigitte's fun session again this morning. Thank you, ladies, because yes, it's 10:59.
Oh, my heavens.
So, Gogglefroggers, tomorrow is 8 o'clock.
With your gin and tonics or your wine or whatever.
Whatever you'd like. So we will be going live at 8 till 9. Robert will be with us, so please bring your knitting again. Bring your
cooler. Let's hope it's a lot cooler tomorrow. Would you thunderstorms again down here?
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with the weather. But whatever.
Driving, Angela.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to pack my car up now and head off and go up north. So I just wanted to say a huge thank you, Marion. It was
my pleasure
lovely of you to share such a special letter with us all. Thank you so much. And enjoy that mother of pearl that you're knitting with. And whatever you're doing, remember to take time for yourself and enjoy this beautiful craft that we all love. So see you again.
That includes you, Angela. You must take time for yourself as well.
Well, thank you very much. I will take that as read. And so when I get up to Leeds, I'm going to take my mum for fish and chips tonight, or rather, I have the gluten-free scampi and chips, and my mum has scampi and chips
with the mushy peas.
With mushy peas, which is Yorkshire caviar, as you all know now, and gluten-free onion rings as well. So we will be having a lovely dinner in our favourite restaurant, which is the Weatherby Whaler. So I will take a little bit of rest, but I will see you all tomorrow evening as well. So lots of love. You take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.